The proceeding was an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines regulating community programming. The following is an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines regulating community programming.
Welcome to Shaw TV's coverage of the annual lighting of the Calgary Community Menorah, an event that celebrates Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. Throughout the world, in large communities and small villages, the lamplighters kindle menorahs, in many cases towering giant menorahs in public areas for all to see. The lights of the menorah are more than a reminder of ancient miracles. They are meant to provide inspiration and illumination in our daily lives. Shaw TV is proud to be part of the celebration and is pleased to bring you this special live broadcast from the Municipal Building.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 26th Annual Calgary Community Menorah Lighting Ceremony. Welcome to everyone who has joined us here at City Hall, and welcome to those watching us on Shaw TV and on the Internet. My name is Shale Gelfand, and I have the privilege to be your MC. Thank you to our fabulous band, Take the Oi Train, led by Florence Shustak, and singer Arnold Dvorkin for starting our ceremonies off with such a rousing rendition of Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Well, happy Chanukah, everyone. Tonight, the 25th of Kislev in the Jewish calendar, is the first night, the first candle of this 8-day celebration. Chanukah, the Festival of Lights, and the kindling of the community menorah are both dynamic symbols of freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of choice, and freedom from oppression. The story of Hanukkah, more than 2,000 years ago, tells us about a group of brave, determined people led by Judah the Maccabee, who stood up and prevailed against tyranny and evil. The themes of Hanukkah, freedom, tolerance, understanding of others, and courage of conviction in the face of oppression, are all as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. We honor those themes through lighting the menorah here at City Hall, at the giant 18-foot menorah in front of Heritage Park, at menorahs in Calgary hospitals, at the Alberta Legislature and other prominent places, and in thousands of Jewish homes here in Calgary and millions more around the world. We want to thank everyone tonight who brought jackets and sleeping bags today for Project Warmth, which provides warm clothing and other cold weather supplies to those less fortunate in our community. Well, we have an exciting program for you with lots of music, singing, the lighting of the menorah, and of course latkes, sweet treats and Hanukkah for the children, and of course lots of dancing for everyone here at City Hall. Now it's time for some music, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Calgary Jewish Academy Choir, led by Miss Emma Faber, as they perform Oy Chanukah, Oy Chanukah. Thank you, CJA Choir. Oy Chanukah, a real Chanukah classic. I think one of the first songs I learned in Yiddish from Lair Achler. Everyone here with us tonight and those watching on television are all special guests, but we have some important dignitaries who I'd like to introduce. And we'd ask that the dignitaries stand and remain standing while your names are introduced. And we ask all the audience to hold your applause until all our dignitaries have been introduced. Representing Akiva Academy, Rabbi Chaim Greenwald and Mr. John Haddon. From the Calgary, please hold your applause till everyone has been introduced. Thank you. From the Calgary Jewish Academy, Mr. Kerry Roden. Ms. Sandra Fairman on behalf of Jewish National Fund, Calgary. Representing the Calgary Jewish Learning Institute, Rabbi and Mrs. Mordechai and Esty Groner. From the Jewish Historical Society of Southern Alberta, Ms. Zina Drabinski. Mrs. Gail Kaczynski from Canadian Hadassah Wezo. Representing Naamit Canada, Mr. and Mrs. Avigdor and Dorit Moise. From Kehilat Shalom Society of Calgary, Mr. Bruno Kahan and Nurit Offer. Representing the House of Jacob, Rabbi Yisroel Miller. From the Calgary Community Kollel, Rabbi Chaim Safran. On behalf of the Calgary Police Commission, Vice Chair Mrs. Lisa Silver, and also in the audience is another Police Commission member, Karen Gallagher-Burt. Ms. Kira Bloomer and Mr. Stephen Wagner from BBYO. From State of Israel Bonds, Mrs. Phyllis Dagwar. Mr. and Mrs. Allen and Monica Samchek on behalf of B'nai B'rith Calgary. Representing the Calgary Jewish Community Center, Mr. Alan and Janine Herman. From the Jewish Community Foundation of Calgary, Dr. Bettina Levernat Zeisler. Representing the Jewish War Veterans, Mr. Zeke Litwack. Representing Chevra Kadisha of Calgary, Mr. and Mrs. Daniel and Adina Shimanoff. On behalf of Friends of Calgary Chabad, Dr. Leonard and Hilda Smith and Mr. Murray Robbins. From Shaw Cable, Mr. Jim and Kathy Cummings. Representing Mount Royal University, Mrs. Catherine Shaler, Ms. Carol Simpson, and Ms. Monique Vierhoef. Ms. Lisa Campbell from Heritage Park. From Calgary EMS, Mr. Adam Loria. Representing the City of Calgary, Mr. Nick Thane, Mr. Kurt Hansen, Mr. Roland Stanley, and Mr. Chima Enkiduram. Mr. Cam Stewart, representing the Alberta Human Rights Commission. We welcome the Honourable Michelle Rempel, MP Calgary Centre and Minister of State for Western Diversification, who I don't think has been able to join us yet. MLAs, Ms. Linda Johnson, MLA Calgary Glenmore. The Honourable Rick McIver, MLA Calgary Hayes and Minister of Jobs, Skills, Training and Labour, and Mrs. Christine McIver. Mr. Troy Black, Advisor to Alberta Minister of Justice Jonathan Dennis, and the MLA for Calgary Buffalo, Mr. Kent Hare, and we have it in good authority that today is his birthday, so happy birthday, MLA Hare. I mean on the 16th of December, not the 25th of Nisan. We also have with us City of Calgary Fire Chief Ken Uzelac, our Minister without portfolio, Mr. Aaron Achler, from Calgary Jewish Federation, Mr. Michael Libben and Mr. Drew Staffenberg, Rebbetzin Rochel Matisoff, Associate and Program Director at Chabad Lubavitch of Alberta, representing Harold Finkelman, the Community Menorah co-founder and MC for 21 years. I'm supposed to say this, his better half, Dr. Beth Hedva. Our honorees for this evening, representing Mr. Harris Dvorkin, who is unable to be with us because of illness, his wife, Mrs. Lynette Dvorkin, and daughter, Mrs. Missy McDonald. Representing Project Warmth and also supporters of the Community Menorah Lighting, Gordy and Eva Hoffman. Rabbi Menachem Matisoff, Alberta's Senior Rabbi and Executive Director at Chabad Lubavitch of Alberta. And last but definitely not least, His Worship Calgary Mayor Nahid Nenshi. Let's give it up for our special guests. Thank you all for joining us. You may be seated. Thank you for being here for our Hanukkah celebration. Now let's hear from Take the Oi Train again, led by Flo Shustak, and joined again by vocalist Arnold Dvorkin, as he will now lead us in the singing of Hine Matov, a song that encourages harmony and diversity. And you can find Hine Matov in your programs on page 4, so please join along. Oi, that was good, wasn't it? Take the oi train. Thank you so much. Calgary's Jewish community is blessed with some dynamic and dedicated young leaders, many of whom have joined us here today. To bring greetings on behalf of the Calgary Jewish Federation, please welcome Federation Vice President Micah Libin, and following Micah, we will hear from the Calgary Jewish Academy Choir again as the students perform Mi Yimalel. So, Micah?
On Hanukkah, we are reminded that a small amount of oil can light up the whole world. Tonight, we are the shamash, the holy spark that turns a cold, dark night into a warm and beautiful celebration. My name is Micah Libin, and I am Vice President of Calgary Jewish Federation. I want to thank Chabad Lubavitch of Alberta, led by Alberta's longest tenured rabbi, Rabbi Menachem Matisoff, and his wife, the Rebbetzin Rochel Matisoff. And thank you to the City of Calgary, led by my longtime friend, Mayor Nahid Nenshi, for making it possible once again this year to celebrate Hanukkah at City Hall. In the history of the world, there have been few places more tolerant and accepting than Calgary in 2014. A wonderful place for our wonderful Jewish community. Let's never take that for granted. We have a special program tonight. We have the choir from Akiva Academy, and we have the choir from the Calgary Jewish Academy, including my son Akiva, who's in grade 1. His classmates will be singing again in a minute. Good luck, guys. Happy Hanukkah to the entire Jewish community, and happy holidays to everyone.
Wasn't that terrific? Let's hear it for them. Now, I was remiss and I missed introducing a few people. I apologize for that, some of our dignitaries, but with technology, a text from Daniel Shimanoff let me know quickly. So I would like to introduce some members of City Council who are with us. I think I see Councillor Joe Magliaga and Councillor Andre Chabot, and any other members of Council. Welcome and thank you very much, and I apologize for that. Thank you, Danny. And thank you, Micah, for your kind words. Thank you, CJA Choir. That was tremendous. And thank you, parents, for bringing your children down here. As busy as Chabad Lubavitch of Alberta Director Rabbi Matisoff is, it seems his wife, the Rebbetzin Rachel Matisoff, Associate Director at Chabad, is just as busy, if not busier. Mrs. Matisoff is responsible for many of the community outreach programs offered by Chabad Lubavitch of Alberta, including the Friendship Circle of Calgary, a program that connects teenagers with special needs children, a weekly addiction recovery group, the ever-popular Camp Gun Israel, Yachad Hebrew School, special events, counseling services, and so much more. And despite being so busy, she's always available and a friendly voice in the phone whenever anyone calls. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Rebbetzin Rachel Matisoff, and she will introduce the honorees to lead us in the lighting of the menorah. Rabbi Menachem Matisoff will then supervise the menorah lighting ceremony, followed immediately by the Akiva Academy Choir in the singing of Ma'asur, Rock of Ages. Rebbetzin Matisoff.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jill. It gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's Community Menorah Lighting honoree, Mr. Harris Dworkin. This year we are honoring a family and an organization who has been one of the pillars behind our own Community Menorah celebration here in the city. Nothing happens on its own, and it takes many to build and put together an event like this one. For a number of years, the chairs for this ceremony were actually supplied by the ranchmans brought to City Hall in their own truck under the guidance and personal attention of Harris himself and his daughter Missy. Things evolved and it became easier and simpler to rent the chairs. But Harris refused to have this mitzvah done by someone else. So Mr. and Mrs. Dworkin, their dear family, and the ranchman's group, till today are the proud sponsors of the chairs that we are sitting on tonight. Thank you. Harris Dworkin is a well-known and successful leader in both the Calgary business and Calgary Jewish communities. Through the Ranchmen's and the Ranchmen's Hospitality Group, Mr. Dworkin has sponsored and supported dozens of important charities for more than 25 years, including Child Find Alberta, Project Warmth, the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center, Little Warriors, the Calgary Benevolent Fund, Wood Homes, and the Calgary Interfaith Food Bank, to name a few. Cowboys are dear to Mr. Dworkin's heart, and for well over 2 decades, he has sponsored or hosted many events to support organizations like the Canadian Professional Cowboy Association, the Cowboy Benefit Fund, and the Canadian Pro Rodeo Sports Medicine Team. An active member of Calgary Jewish community, Mr. Dworkin is also a member of Bnei B'rith and is the vice president of the board of directors at the Chevra Kadisha, the Jewish Memorial Society. He is also a longtime supporter of our community menorah lighting, having sponsored the sound system for a number of years, and now, as we said, the chairs that we are all sitting on are thanks to the generous support of Mr. Dworkin. Unfortunately, last minute, Harris could not join us this evening due to illness. But he is watching us from home. The rabbi, myself, send you, and all of us here wish you and send you a speedy, complete recovery with good and healthy, long life. Amen. Representing Mr. Dvorkin is a very good friend of his and ours, also a proud supporter of the Calgary community Menorah and Chabad of Alberta in general, a man who is well known and does not need much introduction. Mr. Gordy Hoffman, who was also the honoree together with his wife Eva just a short few years ago. Let us welcome Mr. Gordy Hoffman, who is joined by my husband, Rabbi Menachem Matasoff, and his worship, Mayor Nahid Nenshi, to come up to do the lighting. And Mrs. Dvorkin and Missy, please can you come up and join me here at the podium. Before we light the first candle, we light the shamash candle. This is known as the servant candle because its fire is what we use to kindle all the other candles, one for each night. The important role of the shamash candle is significant and special. It stands out from all the other candles. It's the candle on the far left. Now the mayor takes the light from the shamash candle. We'll wait till we actually get the fire and light. So the mayor takes the light from the shamash and he'll pass on the light to Mr. Gordy Hoffman. Who will recite the blessings and kindle tonight's Hanukkah light, one candle as it's the first night of Hanukkah. The blessings will be translated. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nasim lavatenu b'yamim hacham kizman hazeh.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who performed miracles for our forefathers in those days at this time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'achiyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has granted us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this special occasion. At this time, we turn our eyes and hearts to the beautiful little light that is being lit while meditating on the mystical teachings that by nature, even just a bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. Every light, step by step, will push away more and more darkness. The shamash candle, the one on the far left, represents the individual whose sole interest is to help and extend light to others. This kind of individual is special and unique, and that makes this individual, the shamash, higher and above all other special candles. Now we're going to read Hanerot Halalu in English. It's in the programs. Please join Missy. It's on page 5. Page 5 on the top. Please take your programs and Missy will lead us.
We kindle these lights to commemorate the saving acts, miracles, and wonders which you have performed for our forefathers in those days at this time through your holy Kohanim. Throughout the 8 days of Hanukkah, these lights are sacred, and we are not permitted to make use of them, but only to look at them in order to offer thanks and praise to your great name for your miracles, for your wonders, and for your salvations.
And now we'll hear Mao's Sur. It will be sung by the Akiva Academy Choir. Please follow along in the programs and join them in singing.
that terrific? Let's hear it for them again, the Akiva Academy of Choir. You guys can wave at your parents now if you'd like to. Thank you, Akiva Academy Choir, led by Rabbi Yaakov Rootstein, and thank you, Harris, or the family of Mr. Dvorkin, for your ongoing contributions and commitment to make Calgary a better place. Your leadership, by example, is an inspiration to all of us. Now, it's time to bring up to the stage Calgary's Jewish community minister without portfolio, Aaron Achler, who, by the way, was my teacher and principal at the Yud Lamed Peretz School just a few years ago. And he's now here to make two draws for two $100 State of Israel bonds. This annual draw is sponsored in honor of Leonard and Fagel Shapiro, with best wishes for a good, long, and healthy life. Ler Achler.
Thank you. He still hasn't forgotten to call me Ler Reichler. That's been years since I taught him. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's my pleasure to be here and to present the two individuals that are sitting somewhere around here, two State of Israel bonds. Before I do that, I would like you to meet Phyllis DeGuire, who's now the new Director of State of Israel bonds. Welcome, Phyllis. And may I ask Mayor Nenshi, as always, you did such a great job for the last couple of years. We'll give you one more chance.
I'm ready.
You're ready, so there'll be one boy and one girl. If there's two girls come out, we'll put that back and draw until we have a boy and a girl getting $100 donated by Mr. and Mrs. Shapiro.
Look at that.
Yeah. Two, a boy.
Do you want to read them or shall I?
You go ahead. You can read.
I can read. Raphael Simintov. Come on up, come on up. And Mariah Samchak.
Would the Rabbi Menachem Matasov ask me to bring up to the stage none other than Drew Staffenberg, who's leaving our community, and we want to give him a hand. And thank you, Drew, for all the years of work that you've done with the Jewish community. Come on up. Oh. Sorry. Where is the Shimona? Oh.
Wonderful.
I will turn around. I want you to know
Mazel
the biggest winner is yet. One. The second one is two.
I'd just like to thank everybody for being here tonight, and for Rabbi, my Rav, for 25 years for bringing us together on Hanukkah. You keep the lights burning and making miracles happen every year, and hopefully 25 years from now we'll all be here. Have a good year.
Thank you so much, Drew. Thank you for all your dedicated work for all these years on behalf of Calgary's Jewish community. Thank you, Ler Achler, and congratulations to the winners of those $100 bonds, and thank you to the Shapiros for their ongoing support. Rabbi Menachem Matasov has been one of the most influential and important leaders in the history of Alberta's Jewish community. For more than 26 years, he has served as director of Chabad Lubavitch of Alberta. As well as introducing important programs like this community menorah lighting, he offers spiritual and emotional guidance to hundreds of people every year, including service as a prison chaplain. Prime Minister Stephen Harper, whose riding includes Chabad Lubavitch, located in Woodlands, affectionately refers to Rabbi Matasov as his rabbi. Rabbi Matasov was honored to be a member of the Prime Minister's delegation on a state visit to Israel earlier this year. Please welcome Rabbi Menachem Matasov. You can speak longer if you want, Rabbi.
Good evening. Thank you, Shale. Thank you to each and every one of you who are here with us in person, the watching audience on Shah TV or on the internet. Good evening and a happy Hanukkah. 26th lighting here in the heart of the city in Calgary. Wow. Thank you. It feels like only yesterday that Harold Finkelman and myself had the first meeting with the mayor at the time, Al Duer, seeking his support to this project of building a giant 17-foot tall menorah and having a community lighting at the footsteps of Heritage Park along 14th Street. That meeting took place approximately 5 weeks prior to Hanukkah. Among the departments that needed to approve the project were Parks and Rec, electrical, zoning, traffic, and safety. A lot of departments. Did it make sense to have all 5 departments approve the project within such a short period of time? Obviously not. But the mayor and his team were inspired by the concept, and Calgary did it. With everyone's effort of going a step beyond the norm and the comfort zone, it was done. In Mayor Duer's words, how can we not be part of cities and communities around the world spreading light and a message of freedom? This was 26 years ago. We did it for all these years, and once again, thanks to the determination and efforts of all involved, starting from the top, our current mayor, Nancy, city administration, and I know that Terry Tax will be upset with me, but Terry, a real thank you from the depth of our hearts for your ongoing support. So are we going to relax now? Is it time to take it easy and to go on with our lives in our old-fashioned habits? The answer is obviously no. In the Hebrew language, each number represents a letter. And letters obviously form words. So the numerical value of 26 is, interestingly enough, the name Havaya, God's name Hashem. God in the Torah is referred to in various places with different names, each one with a unique meaning and message. The name of God Hashem, with its numerical value 26, represents God when demonstrating himself in a form of beyond the natural realms and confinements of nature, as well as God acting with mercy and tolerance. I invite each and everyone who is part of this celebration that this year we each take a step forward above and beyond what we do every year around Hanukkah and around the candles. Light, joy, a smile, warmth, peace, sharing, thanking God for life He's granting us, are all part of the stories we hear from the Hanukkah candles every single year and every single night that we kindle the menorah. This year, we will each take one step beyond, one step above the norm, one step above our comfort zone, one step beyond our own self-inflicted limitations. The Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, founder and pioneer of these public menorah lightings worldwide, including ours here tonight, has inspired us with the message that one added act of goodness and kindness will usher us in a bright tomorrow, and very soon in the Messianic era, the era of the ultimate goodness and kindness. This morning I came across one of the Rebbe's teachings. Wherever light radiates, it does not find darkness. For light, darkness does not exist. Wow. When kindling our menorahs at home tonight and the following evenings, may we remember this message and realize that when we live a life that is lit and bright, we have the power of not being influenced by the darkness around us, as light is much more powerful than darkness. All we need is to kindle that light of one step above within me. And yes, light is contagious and will spread before we know it. People are hungry and waiting for a light coming their way. A candle, while burning peacefully, calm and quiet, almost lonely maybe, still has an inner fire and determination that can and will melt and change anything that it comes in contact with and that it touches. Very soon, we will reach the ultimate supernatural light, a dream that is thousands of years old and seems that will never materialize. But Hanukkah in general, and especially the magical number 26, reminds us that yes, very soon we will wake up to a world filled with only goodness and kindness, with the coming and revelation of Mashiach and the world redemption. And where does it start? With me, with each and every one of us, kindling that light, the light of one step beyond. Once again, thank you and a very happy Hanukkah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Matisoff, for that important message. Words we should all take to heart. Our next speaker needs very little introduction. He is Canada's most popular mayor. He has and continues to provide insightful, thoughtful leadership in moving Calgary forward through its unprecedented growth. And he certainly had more than his share of experience in leading our city through floods, devastating snowstorms, and many other disasters. Please join me in welcoming our Mayor, Naheed Nenshi.
So much. I should always get a musical introduction. The rim shots I can do without. Chag Samayach, everyone. It is great to see all of you today. How was my pronunciation there, Principal Eckler? Were we all right? He's not sure. Welcome to City Hall. I am very, very, very pleased to have all of you here today in what I call Calgary's living room, joined here by my colleagues, Councillor Andre Chabad and Councillor Joe Maglioka. It's always a great pleasure to be here with all of you every year. And as you heard, we may feel a little bit like we're going through the plagues of Exodus here in the city. I'm telling you now, when the locusts come, I'm leaving. But hopefully we will not have to do that, because together we get through them. We persevere. One of the great themes of Hanukkah. Every year I reflect upon that theme of perseverance and what it means for our community, of that light being stronger than that darkness. As we reflect on 2014, we are reminded a little bit of some darkness. We are reminded that even here in this wonderful place of pluralism, of acceptance, of mutual respect, of diversity, of the very best place to live regardless of how you worship, that even here, sometimes we run into some rough spots. Sometimes we run into the forces of the small-minded and of the intolerant who seek only to divide rather than to unite. We come through it together. You know, when you heard Rabbi Matisov thank my colleague Terry Tax, who is amazing and does wonderful work every day, for setting this up today, the image I had in my mind was he did do a great job, because I'm sure that when I walked by here this morning, there was a giant Christmas tree right there. But it is, in fact, a beautiful symbol, as we look around this place, of reflecting who we are as a community and who we are together as Calgarians. Sometimes I think about this kippah I'm wearing today and how Rabbi Matisov had to special order it because it's hard to find one in purple. And got it to me when I first became mayor. And to me, that was a deeply meaningful gesture. Because again, it talks about who we are. You will often hear me talk about the power of everyday people doing everyday things with their everyday hands to make extraordinary change in our community. In the context that we're here in today, what am I talking about? I'm talking about mitzvahs. I'm talking about the good deeds, the mitzvah that we do every single day in order to make our community better, in order to heal the world, tikkun olam, in the great Hebrew tradition. And to me, that's who we are. It's how we stand up against those forces of small-mindedness and of intolerance, those forces that seek only to divide. And indeed, we say we are stronger together. We are stronger together when we light the lamp together that banishes that darkness. And so I think that is what I will reflect on this Hanukkah, thinking about that perseverance, thinking about how we light those candles together and how we together build that stronger community. So as I say every year at this time, there's so much more that unites us than that which divides us. So in the common words of all of our faiths, I say to all of you, Salam, Shalom, may we all live in peace. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Worship, Mayor Nenshi. Thank you for continued support of Calgary's Jewish community, and I think you can make some arrangements with Take the Oi train and find a little spot for them in the back of council chambers, and they'll play your intro every day. Thanks to everyone for joining us here for the 26th Annual Community Menorah Lighting Celebration. I would like to give a special thanks to all the volunteers, our dignitaries and special guests, to all the performers with Take the Oi train, to the school choir and to their parents, to our sponsors, our partners with the city, to our friends at Shaw TV, and to everyone watching at home through the efforts of Jewish.tv. Just a reminder here tonight that there are latkes over in the side table for everyone. At the table there's Chanukah gelt and cookies for the children. And of course, we're going to be having some dancing coming up. And all our volunteers, sponsors, and partners are listed in the program and are also available for download at menorah.ca. This Shaw program will be broadcast throughout the holiday season, so check your listing for dates and times. Now, let's welcome Avremi Matisov to join Take the Oi train in Ani Ma'amim and Siman Tov as we say goodbye with dancing and music. Happy Hanukkah, everyone, and thank you. Go out there.
The proceeding was an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines regulating community programming.
Well, I got my vest on, I got my steel-toed boots. We're at the Canada Post processing plant here in Calgary.